Hello everyone and welcome to my brand new series I've been working on. What if Janemba was canon? This is an idea I've been thinking about for a while now since he's one of my personal favorite DBZ movie villains and also because it won the poll I put up on my channel, so sit back and enjoy part 1 of the series. So off the bat, there's a pretty big issue with making Janemba canon. At the end of DBZ, Goku's alive with some help from the Kais, and Vegeta's also back from the dead after the wish from Shenron. Yet, in the Fusion Reborn movie, they're both currently in Otherworld, one way or another, so there's going to be some drastic revisions to the Fusion Reborn timeline. The story starts directly at the end of the Z series. Goku and the rest of the Z fighters are living the easy life and are sitting around watching a movie at Capsule Corp. Finally, no crazy catastrophic events that could destroy the planet are happening, right? If you said right, then you would be wrong. Suddenly, the TV puts on an emergency broadcast about the catastrophic event currently happening in West City. The dead have risen and are taking over the city. All the Z fighters are in shock. Is this a movie or real life? They all immediately jump up, say they'll be back to their wives, and fly out the window. Right when they get out of the house, they see him. The dead really did rise. Ghouls and zombies filling the streets as far as the eye can see. So they decide to split up in an attempt to save the city. Z fighters like Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin start on the outskirts of town while the big hitters, including Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, and Piccolo, decide to go into the eye of the storm and head to the center of town. Trunks and Goten, sneaking out of the house, decide they're going to get in on the fun too and fly off in another direction. The big hitters make it to the town plaza in the center of town, and they're shocked. No, this can't be. Frieza, King Cold, the Ginyu Force? All these people that they've defeated in the past are back and ready for war, but the Z fighters haven't just been sitting around for the past 20-something years. They're ready for this. They just got done with the universal threat a couple days ago, so honestly they want to get this over with. All the Saiyans transform to Super Saiyan. Goku jumps at Frieza, Vegeta jumps at King Cold, and Gohan and Piccolo tackle the Ginyu Force as a duo. And safe to say, it's a bloodbath for the opposition. Ginyu Force gets absolutely steamrolled, Frieza gets blasted into oblivion, and King Cold soon follows. Really seems like they should have been training more in hell. Meanwhile, the rest of the Z fighters took care of the outskirts of town. Trunks and Goten battled a tank-riding weirdo with an oddly familiar mustache, but they weren't sure who he was. They really should have paid more attention in history class, but that's besides the point. The Z fighters clear out the city with ease, and they all congregate at the town plaza. They did it! Wait, no. One last key signature could be felt, and this guy's way above the rest. But Goku smiles. This is actually a key signature he's all too familiar with. The green man flies down and lands on the ground. This is Pikkon, and he has quite the urgent expression on his face. Nobody else really knows this guy, but if he's a friend of Goku, then he can't be a bad guy. Piccolo is actually a bit disappointed, because for a second he thought there was another Namekian here. Pikkon explains to the group that the barrier between the mortal realm and the otherworld has been breached and King Yemma's in trouble. A new being, completely evil demon by the name of Janemba, has accidentally created and now is terrorizing the otherworld. He tried to fight it off, but he was bested. He wasn't sure what to do, so he thought Goku would be up for the challenge. Goku says that if it's a threat to the world, then he really doesn't have a choice. He's gonna go with Pikkon here. Vegeta instantly speaks up and says that he's going too. He's not gonna let Kakarot get all the glory. And surprisingly, Gohan also says that he's coming with. He wants to use his newfound power from the Kais for the good of the world, no matter how backed up he gets on his studies. Piccolo wants to go too, but judging by how powerful Pikkon is, he knows it probably wouldn't do any good, so he decides to stay back and protect Earth from any extra undead. The rest of the Z fighters also stay behind and watch Pikkon, Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan enter the portal into the sky. They breach the otherworld and find themselves at King Yemma's place, which is encased in a powerful barrier. Pikkon says he tried to destroy the barrier, but nothing worked. Suddenly, they feel a crazy powerful key from down below. This must be Janemba. Pikkon says that he's going to be useful and try to get this barrier down while the rest of them try to go defeat Janemba. The three Saiyans wave and hold on to Goku as he instant transmissions over to the key signature. They arrive and are shocked by who stands before them. A giant yellow bowling ball of a demon who's all full of childlike laughter. They all stand in disbelief until the demon looks at them and begins showering them with a rain of teleporting punches. The group barely evades him and decides that they're going to end this quickly, no matter how nice or happy this blob seems to look. Goku erupts with Ki and powers up to Super Saiyan 3. Vegeta powers up to Super Saiyan 2, and Gohan becomes Ultimate Gohan. They're ready. They begin to easily evade the punches. 3 targets are too much for Janemba currently. They close the distance and begin to launch coordinated attacks on the big boy, beating him up senseless. Yet the giant stands right back up and laughs in their face, which reminds him of an all too familiar pink fatty. The key signature coming from Janemba is actually quite similar to Buu, so they're going to have to take it up a notch. Goku charges up a Kamehameha, Gohan charges up a Masenko, and Vegeta charges up a Gallic Gun. The blasts all collide into Janemba, sending him flying into a mountain. Once the dust settles, Janemba sits, not as a playful child they once knew. He's mad. Very mad. Suddenly, his face goes still with emotion, and there he screams a roar so loud it can be heard in the mortal realm. Janemba explodes with power, sending shockwaves beneath the Z-Fighters. And when the light fades, an entirely different being arrives to the scene. This is Super Janemba. Although I will just be saying Janemba from this point on. The monster says nothing, yet he smirks to himself. Suddenly, he teleports and reanimates himself behind Gohan. Everyone is stunned. He's an entirely different fighter than before. He slams the back of Gohan's head, which sends him flying below. Goku and Vegeta begin trading blows with the demon, who's surprisingly holding himself against the two. Vegeta catches both of his fists, but Janemba opens his mouth and roars, shooting a ki blast out that sends Vegeta far away. The standoff between Son Goku and Janemba is dangerously intense. They both flare up their ki to the max and clash at full force. The only thing keeping Goku in this fight is his mastery of martial arts. He's getting completely overpowered by this demon. He suddenly grabs Janemba and instant transmissions to Gohan, who has a Kamehameha ready. Goku pulls back and he fires, sending Janemba ways away. But he's nowhere near defeated, and they could sense it. The group congregates back together to try to think of a strategy. Goku tells Vegeta that he really has no other choice. They need to fuse with the fusion dance. It's the only way that they're going to have a one-up on this guy. He's crazy. Vegeta stammers and says, "Absolutely not. I'm never fusing with you again, you low-class Saiyan. I'd rather die. Why don't you just fuse with the boy?" And he points at Gohan. Goku says Gohan has no idea how to do the fusion dance, and they don't have enough time to train him. And just as Vegeta is about to compromise, they all suddenly hear a voice in their heads. This isn't King Kai, this is King Yemma. He's glad he reached them all. Pikkon wore down the barrier with insults just enough to have King Yemma reach them telepathically. Everyone listen closely. King Yemma says, "I have a great idea to defeat Janemba. You have to throw him in the But that's all the group actually heard from King Yemma. The barrier stopped Yemma from telling his plan to the group. Vegeta yells at Goku to get over to the barrier as fast as he can. If there is a way to defeat this demon without fusion, then that's what they're going to do. Vegeta and Gohan will hold off Janemba in the meanwhile. Goku agrees and instant transmissions over to King Yemma's place. And just in that moment, another person teleports. It's Janemba, with a cold, killer look on his face. Vegeta knows that he's no match in Super Saiyan 2. He's going to have to surpass his limits right here and now. He thinks about overcoming Kakarot, losing the Majin Buu, protecting his wife and kids, and suddenly, he charges all the leftover energy in his body and screams, forcing out the ability of Super Saiyan 3 to come forth. "It was only a matter of time before I got to Kakarot's level. Come on, beast, it's time to die!" Vegeta flies into battle and attempts to hold off Janemba while Gohan gives support from the backlines. Meanwhile, Goku makes it over to Yemma's place, and while both him and Pikkon were bad at insults, they eventually break into the fortress. Yemma greets them and tells Goku his plan to destroy Janemba. Turns out that there's a backup soul cleansing machine in the lower part of the otherworld. The issue is that it's under maintenance for being extremely unstable, and the handyman hasn't gotten to it yet, so Yemma has no idea if the machine will be successful, but figures it's the group's only shot to destroy the demon. The machine has one single giant chamber in comparison to the other machine, which has many smaller chambers, so they must somehow lure Janemba to the machine and throw him in that chamber. Now that the barrier is broken, Yemma lets Vegeta and Gohan in on their plan, but they're deep in combat, and the only thing they heard was the part that they gotta bring Janemba there, so that's what they're gonna do. Gohan fires a ki blast from the back at Janemba, who's briefly stunned. Vegeta gets out of the fight and starts flying back to Goku, and Gohan follows. It's a race to the death. Janemba is starting to get closer, but the two believe in themselves that they're going to get him over there. Just as they make it to Yemma's place, Janemba teleports in front of him, smiles, and hits them both in the back, sending him crashing to the ground. Suddenly, Pikkon and Goku appear behind Janemba and surprise him with an assault. Goku tells everyone to follow him. We gotta get Janemba down in the machine. So everyone makes a mad dash to the bottom of the soul cleansing facility, and of course, Janemba follows, looking to finish the fight. They make it to the backup soul cleansing machine. Goku yells to Vegeta, "I have a way to get Janemba into the chamber, but I need your help." Pikkon and Gohan actually team up temporarily to stop Janemba. Goku and Vegeta get together and plan their attack. Suddenly, Gohan begins to charge a Kamehameha, and Vegeta charges a final flash. It takes a bit to build up, but Janemba is currently fighting off two challengers. Finally, it's ready. Vegeta fires his final flash, which is a direct hit, sending Janemba backwards. Then, suddenly, Goku instant transmissions to the other side of Janemba, and fires his blast, colliding with the final flash, with enough power to send Janemba toppling into the chamber. But the blasts don't completely collide. Instead, they both combine and bend upwards towards the ceiling, preventing the chamber from being destroyed. The machine doors close on Janemba after he enters, and the machine whirls and activates. And almost instantly, Janemba begins to break apart. He screams in pain as the white shiny particles begin to leave his wounds and surround him. The particles completely encase the inside of the chamber, and the machine begins to whirl and groan louder and louder, completely stopping anyone from hearing or seeing what's going on. The group all hides in a corner, fearful that machine might explode, and they were right to do so. The glass chamber explodes with white light. Smoke and white particles fill the room, but slowly dissipate. And when the room's clear, the fighters pop their heads out just to see the shadowy figure of Janemba standing in the chamber. But something's odd about him. His ki is totally different from before. and it even looks like he changed colors. His yellow skin reminds him all of the monster he once was, but it's completely different. For some reason, they no longer feel the need to fight him. It's almost like he has a calm, neutral presence radiating off of him. Janemba walks close to the broken glass on the ground, takes a look at his reflection, and screams, but suddenly smirks and starts touching his own horns and skin. The group tries to confront Janemba, but quickly realizes that he doesn't know the English language, or any language at that. Goku lends a hand out to Janemba and smiles. He looks blankly at Goku, shrugs, and grabs his hand. Then they all leave the chamber. Yemma sees Janemba and screams, but quickly senses his ki and calms down a bit. There's zero bloodlust or anger. King Yemma explains that the machine must have actually worked too well, keeping Janemba intact and alive while sapping the evil and sin from his body. Which wasn't really the original plan, but he calls it a happy mistake. Well, now the big issue is exactly what to do or what should be done with Janemba. Clearly, he's not exactly a threat right now, but that could change for all they know. Yemma suddenly gets down on his knees and bows his head to the Z-Fighters. He thanks them for saving the Otherworld, but he still has one major request. Please take Janemba back to Earth. Otherworld doesn't really have any strong people enough to take on the demon if he reverts back to his own ways. The only place Yemma could really see Janemba in check is on Earth. The Z-Fighters all turn around to speak in private. Goku has no objections to it. He loves the fact that another person that he could train with might join them. Gohan also has pretty similar views. He seems okay now and doesn't mind. Maybe he's really smart and he could actually teach him a thing or two. The most surprising answer is actually Vegeta, who's honestly okay with it. There's already one evil demon on Earth, why not put two? Hell, Hercule might even take him as bodyguard number 2. So that settles it. The Z-Fighters say goodbye to everyone in Otherworld and take Janemba back to Earth. Alright, that's where I think I'm going to wrap up part 1 of the series. If you enjoyed the story so far, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stories like this. Alright, see you in the next one.